Hi there, it's Sue here. I just wanted to make a quick video today. I have recently had to move all my websites to a new hosting company, and I was trying to find an easy way to move them, and I found an easy way, so I thought I would share that. This works with reasonably small websites. If your website's too big, it won't work and you'll have to do it all manually. I had to do that with one of mine, but it worked with the rest, so makes it very quick and easy. Also works to clone websites and make an exact copy of a website that you already have if you want to put it onto a different domain or something, which is something that I'm doing at the moment as well. So I'm in my website here that I want to move, and I'm in my plugins area, and I want to add a new plugin. I already actually have it in here, but I'll just show you quickly how to do that in case you're not sure. The plugin that we're looking for is Duplicator, so we'll just search for that. And this is it here. I've already got it installed. As you can see, it's made by Life in the Grid and it has over 600,000 active installs. This is a free version. There is a paid version if you want to use it for backups and things like that, but the free version works brilliantly for this task. So if we go back to our installed plugins, once it's installed, then we want to go, so as you can see, I've already got it there installed. We want to scroll down on our sidebar here, Duplicator, and then click on Packages. Okay, so because it's just been installed, there are no packages found, and so we want to go over here, and there's a little button that you can probably just see the edge of here that says Create New. Click on that. Okay, now there's a little requirements box here. You want that to say pass. I haven't had any problems with that not passing. If you do, I would imagine it will give you ideas as to why it hasn't passed, because it does in the next step as well. It tells you what's wrong, so I would imagine that it does there. So that's all green, good to go. So you want to click on the next button down here on the right hand bottom corner. And it's scanning the site. It doesn't take long if it's a fairly small site. Alright, now you want all these to say good. If they don't, I've had a couple of websites that have come up with the size not passing and the large files not passing. They come up red with a big cross beside them. With one site I managed to, if you click on this, it will show you the path to any files that are a problem. What I did was I went into my cPanel, into File Manager, and actually removed them from the site, and with one site it brought it down enough that I was able to use it. Even though this actually was still in red, this large files area was good and it still worked. So but then I had another site that it was way too big and it wasn't going to work at all, so I had to do that one manually. So see how you go if your site's a little bit big, but yeah, if you click on these, it'll tell you what the problem areas are, and you can see them, whether you can do anything about them. So if that's all good, you click on Build, and that's going to create two files, an installer file and an archive. The installer file's a small file, and then the archive the size will depend on the size of your website. This takes a little while to do its thing. Okay, didn't take too long. Alright, so as you can see, we've got the installer and the archive. The archive is 61 megabytes for this website. So we want to download the installer, save it. Okay, and we also want to download the archive and save that as well. Alright, so once they're done, then what we want to do is we need to create an add-on domain on our hosting account. So if we click into our hosting account, into cPanel, in this domains area, we want to click on add-on domains, and we want to create a domain by typing in the domain name that we are moving. So in this case it's tiarahamassage.co.nz, it might be widgets.com, whatever it is, and then when we click in here, these auto-populate these two fields here. So unless you've got a specific reason to change them, just leave them as they are. And then we want to here. So 21. And they need to both be the same, and then click add domain. Or you can use the password generator to generate your password. Either way, make sure you write it down so that you don't forget what it is. Okay, so it's been created, so you want to go back. Alright, and so your add-on domains will show down the bottom once you have added that domain. So then, once you've done that, you want to go back to your cPanel and to File Manager. So down here in this Files area, you'll find File Manager, and you want to go to the domain that you are moving. So you want to go to the document root for that domain, click on Go, and it will take you there. Alright, now in this folder, we're only going to have at this stage a CGI bin folder and maybe this FTP quota, depending on your host, I think, because I don't think it's always there. And we want to upload our installer file and our archive file that we've just downloaded from our website. So we want to upload our installer. That'll only take a couple of minutes because it's a tiny file, and upload our archive, which will take longer because it's a fairly big file. Now in the meantime, while that's uploading, what you want to do is, or what I do, you don't have to do this, but it makes it easier further down the track, as you'll find out, is I create a little file called test.html. So I open up Notepad, don't put anything in the doesn't need any content, just go File, Save As, and to save it, change it to all files, and you want to call it test.html. I've already got one in here. If you don't drop this down and leave it at text, it will save it as test.html.txt, and that's not going to work. It needs to be on all files, and you need to name it test.html. Alright, so, and then save it, and I've already got one in there, so I'm not going to bother saving it over again. So, and as you'll see, it will pick up the icon. Because it's an HTML file, your computer thinks it's a little web page, and it'll have whatever icon your computer uses for web pages there, whether it's a Chrome icon or a Firefox or Internet Explorer or whatever. Alright, so once that's done, we just need to wait for this other file to upload. While we're waiting on that, we can upload that little test.html as well. So upload that into the folder, and that'll be a really quick one too. And that one's done. Now I'm just going to pause the video while we wait for that other file to upload. Okay, so once that's downloaded, the next thing that we need to do is we need to create a database for this website. Okay, so we need to create a database for this website is the next step. So in your cPanel, if you go down to database or database tools, you will find a little icon that says MySQL databases. So if you click on that, okay, and so then we want to create a new database. If we name it whatever we want the database to be called, so how about that, and go create database. Okay, and then go back, so it's been created, and alright, so then we need to create a new user for the database. So we can call the user whatever we want to as well. So I might just make it obvious and make it message, and a password. I'm just putting a weak password on here because this is going to be deleted afterwards. So we will create a user. Oh, already exists apparently. Okay, so we will pretend that we have just created that user, and then we just need to add the user to the database. So you create your user, and then we want to add the user, the appropriate user, to the database. And we go add. So now we have a user. We want to give them all privileges. And we have a user, a database, and that user has been assigned to that database. Alright, so make sure you write down all those details, your passwords, database name, username, and password, okay, so that you have all those details for when you need them a bit later on. Alright, so the next thing is to change the name server settings on your domain name. So if you're not sure how to do that, see my video on how to do that. I've got a separate video, and the link will be below this or on my webpage, where on my blog, where will be writing about this. Okay, the link's below anyway, so check that out. And okay, so this is the website that I'm changing, that I'm moving to the new host. Now this is the reason that I the reason that I upload that little test.html file, because it lets me know whether my website has been propagated to the new host. Whether I'm looking, at the moment I don't know whether I'm looking at this website on Bluehost or whether I'm looking at it on SiteGround. There are obviously ways that you can tell, but this is a really easy way to tell. The reason I upload that little file is if I put in test.html, and it's going to come up with page not found, because the site that I'm looking at the moment is on Bluehost, and so that little test file isn't there. Once it has propagated and I'm looking at it on SiteGround, then that little test file will show up. So that's how I tell, and that's why I upload it. So as I said, it's not something that you have to do, but if I want to know that I'm looking at my site at the right place, on the right server, so that if I've got something to do to it, that I want to update on it or do some work on it, I know that I'm updating the right copy. Because if I've got something that I need to change, or I want to do a blog post and I'm in a hurry to do it, and I do all this work and then I log in and I do make that change to my website, I could be making the change on the copy on Bluehost and not the copy on SiteGround, if you understand what I mean. Okay, so that's the reason for doing that. So at the moment we're just waiting on that domain name server change happening, and then I will show you what else we need to do. Okay, so finally my website has the domain name server change has propagated, and so now when I load my website, this is what we see. So you can see these files that are in the folder, and so now all we need to do is we need to click on the installer.php, and so that will actually run that and install that website into that folder. Okay, so we want to we need the database name here, so that was underscore sh64, and then the username, just define that. Okay, so we want to type in the username that we've assigned to that new database and the password. So that's why you needed to have all this written down. I'm just going to put that in, and then once we do that, then we go test connection. Okay, so but if you click test connection, this should come up success, and then you tick this and then click run deployment, and that'll do its thing and install that website. Okay, so it's doing its thing now and installing that website, and we'll just wait for it to do that. Okay, so it comes up and it tells you the old settings and the new settings, so you just, if that's all correct, then you just click run update down here. Okay, so this is what you want to see, is zero errors and zero in update. So now we need to save our permalinks in the site. So if we click on this, it'll take us to our permalink area. Okay, and so what we basically need to do is just save our permalinks. So just make sure you're on the right structure, that you've clicked in the right structure there. It usually comes up wherever it was, as you can see here. So that's done, and then we basically just go in and test our website and make sure everything's working. So if I open a new tab here and go to Tiaraha message, oh come on, go to our website and just make sure everything's working. Okay, so we're back on our website and just waiting for that to load. It's going slowly. I'm using my mobile phone data to finish this video off, so that's why it's running a bit slow. So yeah, that looks like it's all loaded perfectly. Just try clicking on a couple of links, make sure everything's okay. And yep, all done. Okay, so the last thing we need to do once we've checked that our website's all working properly is to do the security cleanup, which means we're basically deleting those files, the installer files that we put into the folder originally to set up our website, because they can create a bit of a security issue. So we've just got to wait for this page to load. So we just clicked on that security cleanup link and that'll take us to the right page. So we want to remove installer files, so delete reserved files removes all installer files, so that's what we want to do. And that's removed those files now. So that's all done. So that's how to move your website. If, as I said, if your website's too large for this, then you'll need to do it manually. There's a lot of videos available on how to do that on YouTube, and also there's information on WordPress. And if you have any problems, just contact support with your hosting company and they'll help you to fix it up. Okay, that's it for today. Bye.